single time you're also ready with the spider hands, and I am never ready. I always forget, and I go straight for the wave, and then I realize it's just embarrassing. You're all making me look really bad.
Nah.
Hey everyone, good morning, afternoon, evening, happy time zone, wherever you're joining us from. We really appreciate it if you are. Welcome back to another episode of a Therosian Odyssey, Strands of Fate. So last session, last session, we encountered some tech gremlins, shall we say, and the gods of Theros just all out disappeared. The internet disconnected. Apparently I just needed to push my AirPod in just a little bit more so you could all hear me. Sorry about that. I was cut from the stream multiple times, and we kind of left on not like the clearest of notes, but we're back. We have our lovely cast, our full lovely cast, because the amazing Lulu is back with us, having been to DragonCon, and we're so happy to have her back, because I do feel it's because the cleric was missing from the party is the reason why the link to the Therosian
sorry about
limited.
That.
So how dare you?
I know.
This is what happens when you leave us. But we're back. I do have a few things that I kind of want to talk about before we begin, and they'll just really briefly go around, and then we'll get right into it. So first up, we Girls Run These Worlds are currently casting for 2 shows right now. One is a one-shot of Brindlewood Bay, which is such a fun-looking game. It is grannies solving murders, with a little bit of maybe Eldritch Cthulhu horror in there. It is pensioners Stranger Things. And that sounds really fun to me. It's a one shot, and it is a Euro friendly time zone. So it will be with Everest, who has run something on the channel before, I believe a D&D one shot before. So please do feel free to apply for that if that sounds like your jam. The other one is, she's smiling already. The other one is being DM'd by our very own Kumi, and I will let Kumi talk a little bit about that.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited. So this is the first time I'm running a sort of horror adventure, I guess, and it's called Revenge, a Tragedy in 2 Acts. It's a fun circus-themed horror adventure, which is going to be taking part in 4 episodes. So the casting is open right now. Do join if you're not too terrified, because I am aiming to frighten you. And I have a whole lot of scary stuff planned out. And this is part of Happy Jack's Funhouse Adventures. So I had run one of the adventures previously on my other channel, The Pigeon Killers, last year, which was Tasha's Madhouse. So I loved it. I loved really getting into people's backstories and making them regret a lot of things. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to starting this, and do apply if you'd like to play it.
Apply. Both, as I mentioned, Euro-friendly time zones, so check those out. Thank you. The last Omnitech hydrate, posture check just before we begin. Make sure that the spines aligned. My spine is never aligned, but anyway, it does its best. And a couple of things. I guess we are currently on Twitch in September. Which means that subs are cheaper, and it is Twitch taking the hit, not the channel. So we are about 5 subs short of our sub goal, I believe 5. So we would really appreciate it if you have something to drop on a sub. We would love that. And we are also 8 followers short of our 500 follower goal. And again, this is just, we would really love to see the followers and the subs that this channel deserves, because it puts out so much amazing content. It allows me to tell this story, and allows the cast to tell this story every week. So yeah, we really appreciate your listening, but if you can do those things as well, love you. Cool. We'll briefly go around. Let me just see the order you're in on here, because so we'll briefly go around. Just introduce yourself, your Twitter handle. Don't worry about getting too into it, and then I will begin the session. So let's start with Jen.
It's fine, that took me off guard.
Surprise.
Hello, my lovely friends. I am Jen. I will be playing your friendly to everyone but Cassian local wizard Estrella. I can be found on Twitter at Jenbirb, JIENBIRB. I am in fact just, a bunch of corvids in a trench coat. The captions think it's Jen Verb, so do with that what you will. But yeah, that's me.
Cool. Next up, Joan.
Hello, I am Joan, and I am playing Onyx, and she's in something. I don't realize if I have told people that yet. But anyways, my Twitter handle is @a_wild_acafan.
It has just occurred to me that the way that it's lined up on here is in alphabetical order, and that really pleases me. That was just a really nice moment for me. I was like, it's not
there are so many names that start with J. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, and it's like J, K, and then I'm K, and then LL. So like, this was, you might say, fate. Let's go, Kumi.
Hello, I am Kumi. I am playing the barbarian Kalyuka, and she is what could I say? Like maybe a candidate or a gladiator to the deity Eros. And right now she has with her this little, tiny little bunny rabbit, little horn sticking out of the middle, who she keeps, who kind of keeps her in good cheer and seems to be like, kind of like the helper bunny of the group right now. And at this point, she's looking around, investigating this place, because nothing bad has happened yet, but we did find some creepy spider people caught in these egg sacs, and that's got us terrified.
Well, I'm really glad that you have the Bunnicorn alongside you to kind of chill everyone out, calm everyone down. Okay. It would be really terrible if something were to happen to the Bunnicorn. No! Anyway, oh my goodness, the venom in all of your faces. All right. I won't let anything happen to the Bunnicorn. Okay, let's go with Lindsay next.
Hi everyone, I'm not on mute anymore. I'm Lindsay. I play your friendly neighborhood Kenku Ranger, who everyone thinks is a rogue, but I do everything. That's where I'm at for today. I'm not doing anything special, but I love these girls, and subscribe to the channel and vote for us on Game Hers and all of that fun stuff.
How could I forget?
You forgot.
I forgot. It was not written on my note. That's why it's not written on my sticky note. As Lindsay briefly just touched upon, we have been nominated for TTRPG Campaign of the Year at the Game Hers Awards. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why this happened, but I'm not going to question it. I'm going to just plead with you all to vote. You can find it on my pinned tweet on my Twitter channel at LawMistress93. Where you can vote, but even the Game Hers Twitter kind of gives you all of that information. But last but not least, let's go to the cleric that binds everyone here together, Lulu.
Hi, I'm Lulu. I am playing Callista, the cleric, who is really wondering why her goddess brought her here. She understands why the goddess brought the rest of the party together. That makes sense to her. She is feeling a little overwhelmed, especially she's right there with Kaluka about the whole creepiness of the bodies and the eggs. But she's here and she's going to try to figure it out and not get too creeped out as things go forward.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's see if we can get some answers to the question of why you have all been brought here. So during our last session, which was slightly abruptly cut off, but you all realized for definite that you are not alone in these tunnels, thanks to a little voice in most of your heads, because last time I said all and Lindsay looked outraged. Not mine.
Not in my head.
All but one, you heard a strange sort of chittering, creepy lady voice in your head, speaking to you, toying with you. She wants you to come and find her. She's almost daring you to. But you did a little more exploring, and were a bit more cautious about it. You finished a conversation with a Nyx fleeced ram that revealed it had been there for some time, and that you weren't quite sure. It didn't really fully grasp the concept of time itself, but you could tell that it had been there a while. There had been, measures taken. It was being fed. There was a schedule. It talked about having been visited a number of times. Clearly, this thing had been here for some time. Parts of its fleece were being clipped off and taken away by various strangers. Astrea also sent her familiar, her little, we agreed, a bat in the end. It started off as a sparrow, and then we decided that Astrea was too intelligent for that, so it kind of became like a night vision sparrow bat hybrid creature.
Spat, yeah.
A spat, yeah.
A Durkle spat.
Oh, Durkle spat. Cool. Yeah. So the spat kind of made its way around some of the tunnels, and uncovered a little bit more of the maze before Astrea's vision through its eyes was promptly cut off by a rather terrifying, monstrous giant spider that seemed to emerge into existence with a crackle of ethereal energy. You encountered another sort of potential exit, but realized that the strength draining properties of a plant named cave-like moss would make exiting that way very difficult for you all indeed. And then finally you followed some footprints that poor little Eva had been trying to tell you all about from the very beginning. And you headed down into a small room. And this one seems, whereas the others is kind of part room, part sort of natural cavern, this one seems it is built into the cavern, but it seems to have been built over the top of the walls. Like the walls are wooden, it's been well decorated, it almost looks like you just kind of sort of walked into someone's sort of shack. So a lot of care and attention has been put into this room. And let me just head over to Foundry. So I will grab the description just to kind of set the scene. Beyond the door, as you walked in, you found yourself stepping into a small room that had barely enough space for the five of you to enter. It was mostly taken up by a rather large round table with 4 wooden chairs tucked beneath it. The table had a woven purple cloth on top with an insignia of a spider sewn into it. I believe you kind of investigated the cloth a little bit. It was not made of spider silk. It was silk, but it didn't seem to be sort of spun naturally by the creature. Nearby is was a chest, on top of which is sitting a large, ornately carved dagger. And the desk has 2 small drawers in it. On top of the desk is a candle that's flickering, and there's a few torch sconces around as well, and all of them were lit, which is quite strange. Everywhere else you've seen torch sconces everywhere as you've kind of traversed this place, and they've all been blown out pitch black, but these ones are lit. The candle seems to be enchanted to constantly be lit, and built into the rock face are, or sort of against the wooden, I should say, are sort of numerous shelves. They are lined with various books, vials, all manner of odd trinkets and papers. Yeah. What would you like to do?
Well, I know Eva, right before we let off last time, had kind of run over to the dagger on the table and was kind of like wide-eyed oohing over it, and she's going to reach up and just gently poke it.
Gently poke it. I remember you were kind of investigating the dagger just before we left off. You poke it.
Just adding to that, I think right before that, I just checked the chest in front of me. I'm not sure what I found. I think I had written it down, but I can't find this in my notes.
You hadn't. So in front of you is the desk. There's a small desk. The chest is where the opened.
Sorry, the desk with the 2 drawers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I think I found something there, but I can't remember.
I don't think we had got as far as you looking at it.
Oh, okay.
I think
actually, like, investigate.
I think Onyx also asked me to drop a detect magic, so I was doing that as well.
Yeah, you were in the process of doing oh my god, I've lost the word.
Detect magic?
Yeah, but it was without a spell slot. The ritual. The word ritual is what I'm after. You got like word. Yeah, you were in the process of doing a ritual cast of detect magic. I think, I do remember. Kumi, you were in the process of investigating the desk. I don't think I'd read anything out to you or said what you found yet. I think you had just rolled, and I'm pretty sure that you rolled relatively high. So we will address each thing at a time. So let's go with Eva first. You walk up to the dagger, you give it a little poke. It just sort of moves with the weight of your poke, but nothing untoward happens.
No, nothing eerie.
You're not
about
immediately
it.
cursed. There's not the sound of thunder and terror. Spiders don't descend upon you from the cracks. Nothing happens. It just
Did you say that you rolled pretty well on investigating the dagger, or was that for something else?
So the investigation was for the desk, I believe, to see what could be found on the desk.
Yeah, I didn't roll. I just poked it. I didn't investigate it. Just poked.
I'm trying to.
Eva, the ever curious, was just like, everyone was like, "Oh, be careful!" I'm pretty sure you got a warning that was like, "Be careful, could be something weird about this dagger," and you were like, "Yeah, cool, okay, cool."
Okay.
I think the warning was Estrella looking at it and being like, "Nope."
And it is a sort of it is beautifully carved. There is sort of a lot of spider-like imagery along it. It is it doesn't look like it kind of does have a sort of I guess a ceremonial feel to it, but that being said, it doesn't what am I trying to say? It basically it doesn't, it's just not just any dagger. This one looks like it has been carved with purpose of some kind. Interestingly, there is sort of some spider imagery, but there is also a sort of snake head at the top.
Okay, I want to investigate it, but it's taking me a minute to pull up my character sheet, so give me a
That's
sec.
absolutely fine. I will then go to what you find on the desk. So let me just have a quick look here. So, the desk is so there's the candle on top, and a tray of what looks like sort of I guess almost like surgical instruments. There's like scissors and pliers, and it's very scientific looking. What one might say, sort of alchemist supplies. Yeah, so that's kind of sitting on a tray, very neatly organized. And then the two drawers are kind of shut very firmly. One of them you can see has a little keyhole in it.
Okay.
And actually, because you rolled so well, I will say as well that you kind of investigated. It is locked. Doesn't seem to be like trapped or magically trapped or anything like that. But because you did already investigate the desk, so that's fine. But it is locked.
I do look
Callista
very
would've-
I do look very excitedly at Callista. Like,
Oh, Callista has been waiting for this so long. She
Been waiting for this moment.
yeah,
This is why it cut out. This is why it cut out last week, because Callista heard all the way from her room. She was like, "There's a chest. There's a desk in there with a locked drawer, and they're gonna bloody open it without me. Nope, not having it."
So
Okay,
yes,
well, I
if
found
no
my
one-
character.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, what order do you want that to take place in? Because I'm fine, but I did find my character sheet in order to investigate the knife.
So you want to investigate the knife and see if you can figure out more about it other than
Yeah.
it just being a knife, yeah? Okay, so
Yeah.
you roll an investigation. What is it that you're wanting to know about actually the knife? Do you want to know its historical meaning? Do you want to know if it's magical? Do you what is it you're after?
Where's all these alchemy tools in relation to where I am right now?
So you're standing by the chest with the kind of knife in front of you. Over where Caliuca is standing, there's a that's a desk, and on top of it is that kind of square-looking thing is basically a tray of tools.
I want to see if it's. So my suspicions are that it might be related to some kind of ritual or drawing blood or some kind of that it's important in making whatever potion that they're trying to make, and if I understand the significance of the carvings and the handle, or if there's any other kind of clue like blood or fur or hair or something on it. So let me roll an investigation.
Roll either religion or history.
Okay. Are you sure it can't be investigation? Okay, I'll do religion.
I believe in you.
17.
See? Told you.
17. Yeah, so first of all, the knife is very clean.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to have been used, or at least if it has been used, it has been well looked after. And I would say that you would also see with the tools, also very well looked after. So you could kind of make that connotation that either these have just been sitting here untouched and unused, or they have been cleaned, properly looked after, and made sure that there's not any staining of whatever they may have been used to do. Secondly, religion. Yes. So there is the knife itself does not necessarily seem to have been made for one particular deity. The spider imagery you can see it's very intricately carved, and actually the way that it is on the handle is it is essentially telling the story as you kind of twizzle it round. It is telling the story of Arasta's transformation. So it begins with sort of what looks to be a beautiful nymph, and it slowly is the same figure but becoming a spider. And then the snake head on the top. There really is only one deity that you can attribute to snakes at that level.
It's the one that cursed her, isn't it? I
Nope.
can't remember his name.
It is a different one. It is Farrakha, goddess of. Farrakha is a very interesting deity. She is the deity of healing, but also the deity of affliction. The best way to describe Farrakha is she seems to see Theros as her personal laboratory, and she is interested in sort of almost like a scientific method. She is called upon when people are sick and dying. She is called upon when people want someone else to become ill or some misfortune to befall them. She's a very, like, if ever there was true neutral, Farrakha is it. She has no attachment to the people of Theros. She has her work, and that is to study disease and healing in any way. So she will just as quickly help a dying relative as she will aid in their passing. And it kind of brings you back to what was written on that plaque that was in the sort of the tomb room that you all were in. Farrakha was mentioned on that, that it didn't matter if you cried out to Farrakha for help. Ultimately, fate controls what actually happens to you.
How do you spell Farrakha?
Pharika.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll relay that information to everybody else, and like, oh, this is this knife it tells the story of Arasta, the druid consort of Nilia, being transformed into a spider. Was she a nymph or a dryad?
Dryad.
Right? She was a dryad.
Yeah, okay. And these two snakes, I think they represent Farrakha, the goddess of disease, but also just sort of a goddess of like the humors of health, but also of illness. It may be that either whoever is experimenting with these spider things is working for Farrakha or is praying to Farrakha for guidance, but it did say on the front that what happens here is left up to fate, not to bother praying to Farrakha.
So I will come now to where Callista and Caliuca are. Callista, I believe you were going to try to unlock the drawer.
Yes, she's
Test
very
out
excited.
your skills.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
Awesome.
maybe not the best, but she's very enthusiastic.
I would like.
Would you like to borrow
roll
my?
for me?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to borrow
would
my
like you to
thieves'
roll.
tools?
Go on.
Sorry.
Oh, she has these
Oh,
tools.
Oh, okay.
But I love that idea of just Onyx just being like, "Do you want to borrow my?" Oh.
And she's like, no, Jericho.
Just this-
I got some from Jericho. I've been practicing with them.
We dealing with a real badass over here.
You say
In her own
Jericho's
mind,
name?
anyway. I'm sorry?
You said Jericho's name?
Yes. I did.
Eva obviously recognizes that name, but we'll come to that. I would like you to roll a thieves tool check, which now I need to remember. I believe would be your, where is your character sheet? Here it is. It would be your dexterity plus your proficiency bonus. So it would be a +5.
Well, that's about right. That would be an 8 total.
I was gonna say, when she's going in to do that, Eva's
Oh.
gonna jump down and hurry over to watch the pro at work to try and learn something.
Do you
She's
Um,
like, this always worked when I was practicing. I don't
You want a
understand
little
why
help?
it's. Oh
I-
yeah,
can I give her
I
a
would
help
allow because Onyx has proficiency with thieves' tools as well. If Onyx is aiding you, you can roll with advantage, so you can roll again.
Yay! Everyone just standing behind Callista, just being like, no, just not it that way. Not this way.
I rolled the exact same thing. So 8
Oh boy!
with my brand new
okay.
dice.
Oh,
So this
need
this
warming up.
draw, this draw is just, it's not budget. I mean, you can feel it is loosening. Something is loosening in there, but it is not like, it's quite stiff. So it's not all to do with you. It is just a very stiff, and it's one of those ones where it's like, you know, when you get like a brand new lock and the key is very stiff to begin with, and it takes like a little bit of like, you know, years of use. So that's something you've learned. This is a very recent lock. But yeah, like installed by the locksmith yesterday. Yeah, but it's just not quite budging. It will probably either take another, and I would allow maybe one more bash of it if Onyx wanted to try it, or it might require some brute force just to break in to
yeah,
the
that's
door.
kind
To
of
be
what I
honest.
was thinking. Is I can either make another thieves' tools attempt, if you'll allow it, or I can just try to pry it open with my sword.
And Callista's like, well, you can try. I mean, but I don't think you'll be able to get it. I mean, I've been practicing so much. I mean, I've had like almost a month's practice on since I learned how to pick locks. So I don't see how you. But you know, go ahead. Maybe it'll work for
What
you.
do I roll for thieves' tools?
It is your dex modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
And it won't be hard to roll higher than
okay.
I did.
Oh no,
What?
this is like the curse where the one lock just gets in the way of everything.
How do I? Where do I? I'm a 3.
So your
I'm an
dex
old
is plus
3.5
1,
person.
and
Where's
then
my
proficiency
plus
is
3.
3.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's a total.
So
plus
you have a
4.
+4.
Right.
So you actually have less of a chance than Callista.
Oh well. All right. Let me.
But that
Just-
means nothing in this game of dice. It does mean something, but
Oh, wait, what?
One, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, crit failed. God damn it. 4 or 5.
you. So did you roll on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of go, like, you know, give that energy, that vibe of like, boo, I got this. And you just get in and, you know, Cliff's like, I don't know, I couldn't do it. I've been practicing real hard. You're all
practicing
gathered
for
around.
years.
Eva's waiting to learn something. She's becoming less and less impressed by the second. And then I just really just picture you just feeling like, you feel like this click, this vibration through your thieves tool, and you kind of give this shit-eating smile, and voila, and you pull it out, and half of the tool is left behind in there.
Yeah. Yeah. What I was thinking.
So you have broken your thieves tools.
So immediately,
unfortunately.
as soon as I see that I broke my thieves' tool, I'm just like, fuck it. Draw my sword and just start hacking at the front of this drawer until it's in pieces.
Eva's gonna
May-
yelp and dive out of the way
make it
under the
Make it,
table.
make a strength check, but it's not a high DC.
Okay.
You say it's not a high
13.
DC, but the way you've been rolling.
I'm setting a DC just because I think it would be hilarious if you couldn't smash the desk up either, but
Well, I got a 14.
Okay, yeah, you manage it. So, but even that takes you, even that takes you a little bit more time than you'd have liked. And it's very
We're gonna say
embarrassing.
that she's also like pulsing with Dirkle and black magical light the whole time she's doing this. It's just like,
I mean, it is that
So-
vibe, everyone, that you might all want to just take a step back. Like there is some anger, frustration issues. There's high emotion running here. Bianca's
Honestly,
life is on the
meanwhile-
line, and this desk will not unlock.
And
Eva
meanwhile,
is
Estrella's
under
just
the
like
table.
casting and being like, for the love of God.
listen,
Callista's
Onyx
just
has
looking
had
slightly
a
smug.
bad day.
While I'm under the table, can I investigate to see if there's anything under here, like possibly like blood or anything from a sacrifice under the table?
Yeah, sure. Roll an investigation check.
Almost spiders under the table.
Wow. A nat 1 as well.
Whoa.
Nice. We're on fire
You
today,
go
y'all.
to look, and then just like you're just too distracted by Onyx's like frustrated, like smashing and bashing, and in the other side of you, Astrea's nearby, and you can just hear her like muttering arcane words under her breath, interlaced with like, if everyone would just shut the fuck up for a second. And then like, that's part of the spell, you presume.
Totally.
And that's completely part of the spell. You can't concentrate on really finding anything. You don't seem to see anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah. Eva doesn't like loud noises. She's overwhelmed under the table.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. The desk is smashed to pieces. The drawer is the last thing to break open. And obviously, absolutely everything is destroyed before that. And it is a pile
Do
of
I
wood.
find any-
However,
among the rubble, is there any of those cleaning supplies that they used to clean the dagger? Because if there is, I'm just gonna pick it up and start cleaning my sword.
in the first drawer that was like unlocked, which actually I did fail to mention, there were sort of like cloths and things that would kind of be used for cleaning. So you can absolutely do that, like a buffing cloth, whetstone, all of those kind of things.
Oil.
In the locked drawer, you find nothing. The look on your face. No, you do. You find what looks to be a journal of sorts. And a bunch of the pages have been ripped out. And you will remember that you did find a lot of pages earlier on, and they were kind of notes on experiments and like the kind of results they'd had. So it was all very like, solution number 24, too many arms, and like just little notes, annotations. Perhaps I need to adjust this particular ingredients dosage, but it was written in a sort of shorthand that would probably. Do any of you have proficiency with alchemist supplies or herbalism kit? No. So it was. You could kind of get the gist of what was going on, but it was written in a shorthand that was probably only going to really be fully understood by someone who works with those things all the time. So, does anyone want to read the journal?
Oh wait, no, I can't. I'm casting.
Cool. We can come back to what your detect magic finds.
I'm gonna
we're kind
give
of reaching.
Eva's gonna crawl out from the table and kind of reach
Yeah.
for the book.
I was gonna say,
Just a
Onyx
little
is gonna
grubby
roll-
hand under the table.
There you go.
Awesome.
Oh, I think I might have called my dog.
So you take the book, Eva. Eva is now officially the reader of all diaries and journals. Like, As you leaf through the various kind of sheafs of paper inside, they kind of form a log of some kind. I love it. I love the method acting. And the way that it's written, it essentially details a group of 4 women that became interested in the myth of Arasta and the fabled cure that might garner Nilia's favor. The one that is writing is named Arachne. Very on the nose, I know. It's spelled Arakni.
Oh.
And she believes they believe through hard work and diligence, they can save Arasta and do essentially what the gods could not. If the correct cure is formulated, they want to do so following Farrakha's sort of principles and methodology, and their quest does begin in, as I said, honor of Nilia, in the hopes that she will bless them for their efforts. As time goes on, and you kind of flicking through, reading briefly, yes, Onyx. You're muted.
First, Eva, are you... I feel like I might be reading this over your shoulder, which would be very easy, because your shoulders are down here. And
Eva would, anytime Nili is mentioned, Eva would probably like hold up the book to show Onyx and be like, look, it's the word you like.
And I also want to see if any of that handwriting looks familiar to me.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Not great. 14.
It does not.
Okay.
Okay. So, yes. So as time goes on, the entries become a little embittered, a bit less hopeful, more annoyed by Nilia's lack of attention for their efforts. They hoped just by trying that they would be sort of blessed by her. And they begin to insinuate in their writings, or Arachne does, I should say, that Nilia did abandon Arasta and cares for her cure no longer. You read, Arasta's plight is tragic, and Nilia, with all of her divine power, has let her down. But we, with our meager resources, shall not. As you kind of flick through, there is, just before where these pages have been ripped out, an entry that catches your interest. And it reads, a priestess came to us today. She claims that Farrakha had taken an interest in our plight, and that our work will serve a greater purpose in Theros's Tapestry if we succeed. She showed us a cave near the Spurch River from which we can work. She promised us willing subjects that our methods could be tested upon. My cohorts are a little unsure if this is ethically viable, but our goal is a cure, not permanent sickness or poison. We shall do what needs to be done.
Subjects?
I'm gonna say.
And then, yeah, go on, Onyx.
Estrella, when you finish casting, you definitely need to take a look at this.
Oh, I've already been writing down questions. Jen's been writing down questions, so Jen's okay.
And then this is where you kind of find these sort of like shreds that indicate that this portion was ripped out. But afterwards, there is a final entry. And it is fueled. It is written untidily. Everything else has been so neat and so precise in all of this, even those moments of frustration or bitterness. But this is written messily. It is angry, fueled by rage of some kind. And it reads that Arachne was finally able to unlock a certain room within the cave complex, and it was a tomb. And she now understands what this place is. She understands that the priestess of Faraka was a liar, that she was masquerading as such to make them feel important, when really they are just subject to the whims of fate and nothing but pawns to the deities that are supposed to protect them. You read, I will continue though. I have already taken a potent dosage of the transformative medicine, followed closely by my best attempt at a cure. For Arasta and all of the other hapless victims of the gods, I will succeed. I make my own destiny. And that is where the journal ends.
Eva's gonna and haw for a moment and then just kind of be like, ugh, drama.
I have 4 questions.
Ugh.
Okay, I will give you what your you just finish up the incantation as Eva is reading this final part. I will give you what your detect magic shows you. Lighting up like a little magical beacon is the dagger. Interestingly as well, by the way, Eva, the diary did mention that the dagger was a gift from this priestess. So the dagger lights up. There is a cloak that is sort of hanging haphazardly over one of the chairs, and a jug sitting on one of the bookshelves.
Okay. Can I get schools of magic from those?
I'm
so sorry.
You would ask me this, but I didn't prepare it.
I will also accept the names of the items if you're feeling so generous.
Okay, do you know what? Roll me
Arcana?
with the help of detect magic. Roll me an Arcana check. I'm feeling generous, so I don't have to look this up with advantage. Go for it.
Watch me roll 2 ones. That was so close. I rolled a 1 and a 19. It's not a 30, but it is a 27.
27. Okay.
It's no 30,
so
but
you beat the running DC that I set for everything, which is 25. And I don't. But, yeah, you know, earlier when I was like, this is going to be really easy, it was a 24.
Yeah.
Okay, you have found it is a magical dagger. It is not anything special. It is a dagger +1.
Okay. I will kind of just kind of like, as I'm going through, I'll hold this up and just be like, enhanced accuracy, enhanced edge for a deeper cut. Who wants?
I'll take it if no one else wants it.
Anyone else in need of a dagger?
Eva will shake her head,
Hands
then
it to
motion
Onyx.
a bow, and be like, thumbs up.
Estrella will do her very best to kind of like do that thing where like she flips it, catches it by the blade, and hands it to Onyx handle first. We're gonna see how that goes because
Onyx is gonna
Roll a dexterity check at once, ma'am.
Yep. I was gonna say like Estrella's a flashy bitch. Okay, 18. 18.
Oh, you are lucky. Okay, yeah.
Cassie will be proud.
You succeed, and even you are surprised by your success.
I'm gonna say that Onyx, like, as she's taking it from you, is like, doesn't take the handle, she takes your wrist and is like checking to make sure you didn't cut yourself. And like, would have been about to give you lay on hands if you had, but luckily you didn't fuck it up because I don't have any left.
I imagine that moment happening in like slow motion in Astrea's head, where she flips it in a way to try and be like impressive and flashy, and then as she lets go and it kind of like floats off into the air, she thinks to herself, that was a really dumb thing to do. I am about to, when you just do something and then you're just like, why did I just do this? Oh well, here's the consequences, and then you smack into the wall or whatever. Like that, it's that energy. But then you catch it and you're like, and you have that such a look of shock on your face that Onyx obviously immediately thinks that you've just lost 3 fingers.
Hold up. Let me see if I have a look of shock on my face. That's a 15 on deception. I do my best to look completely normal.
Okay, insight.
My passive perception's only 11, so she's
passive insight.
Passive insight.
Passive insight 14.
Oh.
Yeah, you just about beat. Okay, Onyx. I mean, she obviously knows how to flip a knife.
I think Onyx's opinion of Estrella, which was already decently high, goes up a little bit. Like, for a squishy little mage, that's not bad.
Like, you do see a very brief flicker of like uncertainty as the dagger's in the air, and then it goes away.
All right.
Say she kind of
Next up, you also discover the jug is an alchemy jug, which is not really surprising to you given like the context of the room, but it's obviously something that can be used to create certain liquids at will. So you need water, or you need like, especially it could be used for like, alcohol is known as a good disinfectant, and it could be used for something along those lines as well. Just create some ethanol.
Or 2 gallons of mayonnaise, apparently.
Yes, I've done that before. Sorry, had a game. We have that jug, and we make mayonnaise, and we eat it.
If you ever are a hungry party, mayonnaise, it's some kind of food, right?
It is not.
And then, oh boy, here we go.
All right, so she like kind of like hooks the jug onto her backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And just goes, this is useful for when we get thirsty.
And lastly, the cloak. The cloak is, you can find it under Cloak of Arachnida.
That tracks.
Yeah. It's maybe, again, very on the nose, but I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
When life gives you
so those are the 3 things in the room, and you kind of have a look around. Obviously, oh wait, no, there is one more thing. On one of the bookshelves nearby, one of the books. There's a few different books, and they've all got various different titles. But one of the books, from within the pages, you can just see a faint glow.
Estrella just kind of like, her face lights up, and she just like makes a beeline for the shelf and like rips the book open gently and respectfully, as one should treat a book.
It is a book about undoing curses.
Is it remove curse?
Inside, it is a spell scroll for remove curse.
Okay.
Can you read that? I'm trying to remember if wizards yet remove curse.
I don't know. Let's find out together.
Let's find out together.
I can't stop saying that. It's been 2 years.
It is a cleric, paladin, warlock, wizard. Yes. So you would be able to read it. Your lovely cleric Callista would be able to read it, and your paladin would be able to read it as well.
Remind me how long it takes to copy a spell down, because this is still my first wizard and I am a dum-dum.
Okay. I believe that it is a bit different for you because
2 minutes per
order
spell
of the
level.
scribes.
2 minutes per spell level, so it's what, 6 minutes?
6 minutes.
Okay.
Because your order of the scribes.
If she copies it into her spell book,
I can
then
just keep
it's
casting
used, right? But like then the scroll is used and the rest of us can't add it to our.
So essentially,
Right.
it is a one. So you could give it to your cleric or your paladin, and they could use it instead of expending energy as a spell slot.
Or I can copy
Once.
it and then have it.
Or
Yeah.
you can copy it and you can have it permanently in your spell
Right.
book. But obviously it will still always cost you energy. It will
Right.
not, like, you are using its use to
Right.
have access to that spell
So,
permanently, if that makes
if
sense.
Callista or I took it, because we don't necessarily use spell books, right? Or at least I don't.
Right.
You don't, neither of you do.
So
And
what?
I just can know any paladin spell.
You can. So Callista gets to change her spells every day. She has a little conversation with her
Yeah.
deity. She goes, "What am I feeling today? Am I feeling spiritual weapon? Am I feeling cure wounds?" And that happens. Paladins are the
I
same.
only get like
I
one
think.
spell anyways. I guess I'm just clarifying because I'm used to 3.5, but I still
I'm pretty sure paladins are the same. I think you can change your
Yeah.
spells every day.
Yeah, I think I can change it every day, and I can choose from anything on the paladin spell
And
list.
wizards can too. They have essentially a big spell book which has the list of all the spells that they have learnt, and then they have like their little mini daily
pack.
spell book where they go, "I'll
What are
take
these
that one, that
doohickey?
one, that one, and that one." Yeah. And that is what they can draw from.
Yeah, so I do think it makes the most sense for Estrella to copy it into her spell book.
Yeah. So
Like, that's
I
the
think
only way she could learn it.
I think Estrella is just basically like, so I can give this to one of you if you can cast it. We can cast it once. However, what I can also do is I can use this scroll or this sheet of paper, copy it into my spell book, and then I will have access to it. I think that might make more sense given how many people we might need to help.
Agreed.
Yeah,
But
Callista,
don't fuck
she's
it
like,
up, 'cause we
it
have
is
to kill
something
my
I could learn. I don't have it prepared today though. I wasn't expecting to
Okay.
walk into a cave with cursed spider people in it, but
Right.
tomorrow I can learn it.
Okay.
More the better.
I'm going to save the copying for a little bit later because I do want to take a look at the book that Eva's got. Because Jen still has like 3 questions about that book.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Interestingly, by the way, while you're over by the bookshelf, the books themselves, they basically all seem to be, as you would probably expect, about curses, poisons, antitoxins, sickness. There's
Does
like a little
anything stand out to Estrella as kind of like especially relevant to the situation with my passive investigation of 23? I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Obviously, you see one of the books is like a sort of, I dread to say children's. It's one of those things where you're like, really? They wrote a children's version of this terrifying tale? But a children's version of, yeah, that's true, of the Tale of Arasta, complete with cute illustrations that are definitely horrifying. But yeah, and it doesn't really give you much more than the things that you've already known and discovered. Okay. It's like a children's version.
Onyx is like,
again, like I said, it's undoing curses, and it's things like they've all the books, what you would notice, like, or if you kind of look through them, they have been annotated, and like bits have been like scrawled out, but it's in pencil, so it could be like the sort of lead, so it could be rubbed out.
Same handwriting as the journal?
Yes.
Okay.
And occasional bits are different handwriting, but the journal did mention that there was 4 people working on this. It seems that this Arachne was like their leader, as it were, or the person that was most invested in the mission, but or at least recording what they were doing. But yeah, and then there is like a small scrap of paper that is a written prayer to Farrakha, which basically entreats for her protection while they find the cure.
Okay. So 3 more questions. One, can I please have a real quick copy and paste of the poem that we saw on the carving in that tomb?
Yes, I will send that into the
Beautiful.
group chat.
Does anything like the spelling, the word usage, the dialect of like, you know, stuff like that of the journal reflect any particular region? Like, is this Cetessan? Like, is it like for some reason like a dialect of Akros, that kind of thing?
Make a I would say investigation or perception.
Okay, let's go ahead and an investigation of a natural 20 for a 28. It's not a 30, but
There's not something that really lends itself massively, but if you were to guess, you would say that this either like Cetessa or the area around Cetessa was this person's home.
And does the research methodology outlined in this journal reflect anything that I am aware of? Like does it reflect the Ducatia? Does it reflect any sort of school that teaches like a certain method of research?
That is a good question.
Sorry that I'm like this.
That is a good question.
We're glad that
Which
you
I
are.
am 100% prepared for.
Of course you are.
I'm so prepared. Talk amongst yourself.
I love how prepared Kat is.
This is the bit where in like any other thing I just like I'm gonna go to break. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
we could.
yeah, this is about halfway.
Well, is it in about half an hour we would normally go?
We're a little under halfway, yeah.
Do you want to go to break? We can go to break.
Don't care either way.
It would obviously as well be up to Sarah, because normally it would be in about half an hour's time. So that's what I was about to type. So we can go to break if you like. Yeah, would everyone prefer to have a break now and then? But then it will be like sort of 2 hours afterwards. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
Okay.
Then you get some time to deal with gender.
Deal with me.
Yeah, but then you know it's just going to be the answer is no. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you all for joining us. We are going to head to break because I think everyone needs to stretch their legs a little bit, and actually I do need something to eat. So once again, a few followers short of 500. We are a few subs short of our sub goal, and it is September, which means that subs are cheaper right now. Twitch is taking the hit, not the channel, so we would really appreciate if you are watching and enjoying any subs and follows that you can give us. Cool. See you in about 15 or so minutes. Bye. Every time. I was ready this time with the spider hand. Hello everyone. We are back. We went to break a little bit earlier today, but we are now back and we'll see ourselves through till, oh my goodness, I've forgotten time. 1 p.m. ET, which for me is 6 p.m. GMT. Anyway, Estrella wanted to know about whether these principles, I suppose, looked learned from a particular school or establishment or anything like that. I'm sorry that I'm going to have a kind of disappointing answer. There's not really anything that kind of identifies it as being learned from, your school. There is a lot of, this person is clearly intelligent and thoughtful. Ideologies of Farrakha they're not a secret necessarily. The scientific method isn't a secret. It's all about hypothesizing, trying new things. What the way that they write seems to suggest is that they are skilled in alchemy and herbalism in particular, and they understand the components of creating magical solutions, magical potions in particular, or sort of drafts or anything like that, which is not necessarily something that has to be taught in a sort of high-end educational establishment. Something you would know, and actually Onyx and Eva would know this as well. Satessa Winter Nexus actually kind of focuses on Farrakha and Erebos. Each nexus is dedicated to a different season, and the winter one is very melancholy, a place of sort of quiet contemplation, reflection. It is to signify the end of life. So Erebos is tree ties there so that people may, pass on in peace, or Farrakha, if people would like to pray to extend their lives longer, or sort of wish good health on people or themselves. And so I guess it's not, with Farrakha being such a core part of that particular nexus within Satessa, it's not surprising that those key ideologies of Farrakha will be in Satessa, especially to those that might actually take an interest in worshipping Farrakha. It's not like forbidden. Obviously, Satessa is very much focusing on life and nature and things, so it's very much a Nilia and Karametra place, but there are spaces for those that consider that with life inevitably comes death.
Okay. Estrella's mouth opens and Kat's voice comes out saying that.
We must really look into the fact that Estrella keeps changing her voice.
That's behavior I expect from Iva, to be honest.
That's fair. And I'll take 6 minutes real quick to just scribble.
Oh, and while Estrella's scribbling in her spell book, Callista's wondering out loud. I guess it depends. Did Eva read out loud what she found in the book, or did she keep that to herself?
So far, she's just said that it was a whole bunch of drama. But if you look interested in knowing what was in there, she'd give you the Cole notes of what was in there.
Okay, so Costa definitely would have been interested, and she would have posited to the question almost kind of to herself, but out loud, like the voice in our head was that this Arachne.
Eva's gonna look concerned again and be like, "You people with your voices in your heads."
That's a good question, though. She kind of Estrella kind of looks up from her spell book.
I would
Looks up
say
to the ceiling.
Do you think she's watching?
Roll initiative. No, I'm just kidding.
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, Onyx is gonna say to Callista, I think you could be onto something. It sounds like the last thing she did was, or the last thing she wrote down anyways, was that she was taking the potion, and if her cure didn't work, then she would still be in spider form.
And then I guess the question becomes, are we supposed to help her or kill her?
Callista, I have a question.
Yes.
You, when we first met, came into our minds and spoke to us.
Yes.
Can you do that to her?
If she's close enough. I mean, I could try. People generally have to be fairly close to me for me to be able to do that. Unfortunately, I can't do it at a really far distance or anything.
I look up at the ceiling
Eva's
and
gonna
I'm
look
like,
at Callista.
Arachne, come back.
Eva's gonna look at Callista and be like, "You can talk in people's minds?" Like in awe.
To most people, yes. Not to you, though. I don't know what it is about you. I just get static when I try to speak to you.
Eva's just gonna shrug.
And I guess oh, go
Do you
ahead.
feel any maybe ominous presence in this room? Is your deity talking to you, telling you that? And she kind of looks at the door that's right next to us, like, do you feel anything coming from behind that, maybe?
I don't.
yeah.
I'm actually going to try to talk to my deity if we have a couple minutes.
Eva's just gonna look around and she's gonna be like, point to the door and be like, "I go look."
Not yet.
Oh. Okay.
Give me 2 minutes and we'll take a look and see if there are any traps on the door, and then yes.
Eva's just gonna
Also-
go over and lay her ear on the door to see if she hears anything.
Roll a perception check.
Second, where's my perception?
Not us spending like 2 hours in a fucking 5x4 room.
It's a 13. I'm not doing great with these dice today.
You don't hear anything alarming on this side. You can faintly hear the sound of rushing water.
I'm gonna
Actually, do you know what? You have a quite. What is your passive?
Oh, my passive is quite high. My passive is 16.
16. I would say, and as well being a ranger, you've got a pretty good sense of like direction. You would probably figure, based on the fact that you swam out and you saw that there were 4 entrances in, this is roughly, if your calculations are correct, this is probably going to lead out onto that like beached
Gotcha.
area, and be that 4th entrance.
So Eva will kind of just look at everyone and be like, "I think it just goes outside."
Okay. I'm gonna cast Divine Sense, and I wanna check the magical items that we found, and then I just want to do a sweep.
Okay. Divine sense. Let me just
Detects good and evil. Until the end of my next turn, I can sense anything affected by the hollow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover, and then I can use it 3 times for a long rest.
You don't feel any of those things. The items seem neutral. There's nothing that's striking you as evil or good about the items.
And if I
other than
point at the door, nothing?
nothing.
Oh, it would have total cover.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm gonna open the door.
Let me take a look real quick to see if there are any traps nearby it, especially if this is an entrance. Are there any traps?
Which door are you opening?
The one to the outside that
Is there more than one door?
On our right. I mean, here.
I'm asking if you were doing the one up above as well, but then that's already open technically. So
Oh, is this open?
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a look and see. If there are
this
any
one
traps.
is this door is actually locked.
Oh.
Oh wait, we have keys. Let me check for traps
Calista looks
first, and then I'll try.
disappointed.
You're telling me we've had keys the whole time?
You
Yeah,
knew about
and,
this.
Astrea, as you get your little bundle of keys out, you realize that one of them is a really tiny key that might actually open the door to, or like a little drawer. It looks like it's for some kind of tiny lock.
I kind of look at Onyx
yeah.
and I'm like, I think this is what you were looking for. While I was casting.
Oh god, Dakota.
But anyway, I'll take a look and see if the door is trapped at all with my investigation of 19.
It's not trapped.
All right. Doesn't appear to be trapped. Is there a key on the ring that goes to this door?
And if not, I can try picking it again. I really am very good, despite what happened last time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is a key that opens that door, Astrea,
Cool.
but you're welcome to let Callista try and open it herself.
Callista, I think this key opens the door, but you're welcome to give it a shot.
Oh,
No,
please,
just
yes,
put, just put the key in the door.
Although
Roll Dex plus provision.
Can I roll a dex to steal the jerk the keys out of their hands?
See, I'm
I will
really,
not be initiating PvP at this time.
maybe we should, just in case there's a trap behind this door or there's somebody there waiting for us, maybe, Onyx and I should stand in front. Just
Well,
take
I would
that.
like to get it
I just
open
really need you
before
all
my
to
divine
understand
sense expires.
how hilarious it is to me that you have all bombarded your way through this really creepy place with no stealth whatsoever. You've just been like, I'm walking over here, I'm walking over there, no caution, anything. And then the moment I'm like, oh yeah, this door probably just leads outside, you're like, there could be something. All I'm saying.
Well, to be fair, I had wanted to check that dagger for evil since I first saw it. But
okay, Callista, do your thing. If it doesn't work, we're just gonna open it and then.
but what if
go
the
up
lock
north.
breaks, guys, and I have to hack apart another piece of furniture?
Oh, but you're so good at it.
I'm
Go on, Callista.
17.
17. You got Onyx. You grab those keys, you march your way over, and just as you're about to barge Callista out the way, she kind of slightly turns and hears you approaching, and the shock of it makes her jump, and as she jumps, there's a small click. And then
Tracks.
the door
Yep.
opens.
Eva's gonna cheer.
Estrella
But
kind
her
of
cheer
like
is
mage.
gonna sound like 100 people cheering at the same moment. Like
Estrella
gonna
mage
mimic.
hands the keys back to her and goes, "Well,
Kalika walks over to Callista and just kind of like lifts up Caillou and she gives you a high five.
I knew I could do it.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that our best bet may be to go up north."
So Estrella just takes a little step out. She looks out and she goes, yep, this leads outside. And then come, let's go north. But it's
Why
it's fine.
no one
you all
trusts
know now
the
there
bird?
are 4 ways out of here. Eva's just shaking her head.
said outside, but
Yeah, I think
Onyx is now finding another piece of furniture to chop up because that's how frustrated she is right now.
Okay, so if I am remembering correctly, your options are you essentially want to go up north. You can go the way that you were going to begin with. You can go by there was like a little by where the cave light moss, there was like a little turning there, which is probably the quickest way to get north.
Yeah, I
be honest.
think that's yeah.
And then there was also like you could go all the way back to the tomb room and head north that way as well. Everywhere just kind of leads north.
I think directly
the quickest
north
way
from
to get
where
there
we're
is
at,
the cave light.
like that way,
Hmm.
and like
All right.
that way.
How are we feeling about that? You want to go direct to? Oh, Estrella's off. You're better run to
right.
catch up. Can I get a marching order, please?
Onyx is gonna be last because she's gonna be hacking apart this other piece of furniture for a minute.
Eva's gonna be whatever order gets her in front of the light.
You could probably
Okay,
be right
so
in
does
front of
Eva
us,
want to
right?
go a little bit ahead of the rest of the party then,
Yeah.
or much more behind everyone?
Probably ahead, so she's gonna go up to Astrea and probably like grab the back of whatever her clothing is and like tug her backwards.
So kind of like
And
turn
then-
and look down and be like, "What's up?"
And then pop in front and then lead the group.
I'll walk right behind Astrea so that
I think
Callista is in the middle.
Yep. Callista's definitely in the middle.
and then once everybody's gone, Onyx finally like stops, wipes her blade clean, puts it away, and it's just like and then goes after them.
All right, I'm going to just have you in the way I'm going to move Eva's piece,
Okay.
which I believe was this way.
It would be great if Foundry would let me move my token. Okay, well, would somebody move me up to where everyone else is because my token is not moving?
Ooh, okay, let me just see if I can find you. One moment.
Thank you. I don't know why I'm not
I think it
moving,
was
but
this way.
it was, yeah, like all the way up. Why aren't you working? Okay, now it's working.
Oh, what is happening?
Jesus. And there it goes again.
Oh, no, not
Um.
there, not there, not there. Sorry, that was me.
Oh my god. Okay, well. I'm just gonna do a quick refresh of Foundry because something's happening.
Yeah, mine's doing the same thing now.
Ooh, okay. Let me just see. My internet is fine. Seems to be.
Just flying all over the map
Refreshing.
today.
Uh-oh.
She's still a little confused as to why she's in the party. She knows it was her job to bring them together, but she's really feeling out of her depth with all of this whole thing, and she's not quite sure if they're supposed to be helping this Spider Woman or trying to kill her, or what this has to do really with Onyx's mother. She's just very out of her depth, despite having just picked that lock and feeling very, very good about that. She's just in a very confused headspace. She knows why everyone else is here, why, Onyx is strong and knows what she wants and has a strength of purpose, and Estrella is very quick and intelligent and asks the right questions. And Eva, well, she's not quite sure exactly what Eva is, but seems to be very good at what she does anyway. And Kayoka, knows who she is and what she wants and goes after it. And Callista's just not sure what she brings to the party other than just bringing everybody together and trying to keep them together. Well, since she never knew her parents, she was raised in the temple. She would just fall back on the rote kind of rites and prayers that she uses, her devotions to her god. So she's just kind of going through her head. She's going over the prayers, and she's playing with the pieces of stone that she has in her pouch that she uses to cast augury, and she's just kind of playing with those, almost kind of like a rosary, only they're just pieces of loose stone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so what's going through Onyx's head right now, I think, as the frustration from the whole debacle with the locks ebbs away, she's feeling probably a little bit embarrassed for throwing a fit, but she's also not very experienced with the world and hasn't been in a lot of situations like this. She's afraid for Bianca. She's worried that either Bianca was somehow involved in all of this, or that she was a victim to this, and that it seems like the women who were trying to cure it were partaking in some awfully big hubris, trying to reverse the magic of a god, and she's worried that if her mother has been turned into one of these things, that she won't be able to turn her back. But she's hoping, now that they found that scroll and Estrella learned it, that Estrella will be able to help, or that Callista's cleric skills will be enough. I think she remembers the early days of when her mother first found her, not the very first week where she was just afraid and confused the whole time, but like maybe a couple months in, she saw the book, the children's book in the desk earlier, and it reminded her that she read the same book when her mother was first teaching her about the myths of Nilia. And she just remembers being, Bianca handing her the book, sitting with her, covering her with a custom quilt that was made specifically for her. And yes, in case you're wondering, it is Durkle. And just feeling cozy and warm and not worrying about her problems for once.
This memory must be so comforting in the depths of this darkness of the literal, but also like the metaphorical darkness that you guys are surrounded in. Estrella, as there's this moment that has passed with this locks and frustration in the party, where is Estrella's mind right now? You're muted. You're not. No, you're good.
Estrella is doing her very best to project an air of, I know what I'm doing. even though I don't know exactly what's going on, I know the questions that I need to answer to figure out what is going on. We're kind of in this very odd place. She's not used to being off on her own without some sort of mentor figure, whether that be her teachers in the Decatia or, God forbid, asshole Cassian. And she would never admit it, but there is this very strange sense of vulnerability. Like, she's never fought with these people before. She, like, except for that one time in the ring, that was, you know, hardly even, you know, a 3-round fight. So it's what, 18 seconds. So she's just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing my best to answer the questions that I came here to ask. And she's just trying to figure out the best way to move forward in this very strange, hello, tiny kitty, in this very strange environment without all of the support systems that she normally has in place.
And is there a specific time when she would have had to learn this lesson very early, that it is not okay to show that you don't know what you're doing? That kind of vulnerability is not appreciated in this world?
So when she was she had a bit of a complicated upbringing, and, you know, Kat knows this, but there are certain situations, and those situations are called all of the situations, growing up, where not knowing what you're doing, not knowing your way around, and not knowing kind of how to handle a situation does mean that you might just die. Without going into too much detail, it's pretty much, she grew up around some dangerous people, and you don't really grow up with that kind of upbringing without learning to either hold your own or fake it till you make it. And in this case, she's doing a little bit of both.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that insight. Kaliuka, in this moment, you're hearing the sounds of water dripping down through the cave walls. There is this eerie, ethereal, purple light that flows through the cavern, and you can hear your friends, or at least your associates currently, just sitting in this silence for a moment. What's going through Kaliuka's mind?
Well, Kaliuka right now is looking at this dank, wet, and most prominently dark corridor where she's standing. She hugs her little Aljamar closer to her, you know, kind of taking in the warmth of her fur, and looks at her Morningstar, this weapon that she's trained with her whole life, and in this place right now where she can't see anything, and she's reliant on this magic, you know, that has given her some light. Her weapon looks transformed, and she looks at it and looks forward towards Astrea, looks at everyone here and the magical capabilities. And for the first time in her life, she does feel limiting in some way. Having grown up in the arena, having had to restrict any sort of magical abilities, and she fears for what may be ahead, because more than being scared, the fact that sometimes in a situation, sometimes in battle, she gets angry, and this causes chaotic things to happen around. And while she's found this little bunny rabbit to kind of provide her with some solace and patience, and even some magic in some ways, she's scared of what they might come across, all these she looks at, back at Callista and thinks, I might not be that smart, but when I set out here to find my own path, why is a path set for me? Why does it lead me to this group? Why is a story written for me when I left where I did so that nobody could tell me what to do? She finds herself in this situation and thinks, whatever it may be, right now, I don't want to see a magical light much longer. I want to go back up.
And as you think about back home and you're looking at your morning star, there is just above the grip of it, there is this dent in the shaft of the morning star before it reaches into its well balanced, ball with the spikes sticking out of it. Where did that dent come from? What were you fighting or fighting back against that dent showed up in that weapon?
I remember the first time and looking at this morning star, remembering the history behind it, remembering that it once belonged to my elder brother. And at a time in our family arena when he was teaching me how not to let your guard down, he gave me this weapon telling me that if you are able to still stand by the end of this day, I will allow you to keep this. And surely just in like a couple of minutes, he knocks me down with my own weapon. But the fact that look at him, he looked at me and knew that I wouldn't stay down. And I got up once again and he smiled and gave me the weapon and didn't say anything more to me and just walked away. But I knew that this is what my family taught me, that you could never ever go down. You can always rise up again.
And in this moment that you are struck with this feeling of wanting to be home, of definitely not wanting to be in the darkness here, but also this resiliency that your brother showed you that you have, how does that inform what your next steps look like?
Well, there's not much I understand. I can't understand about a goddess cursing someone, turning her into an abomination, then followers of that same turned person doing the same to just ordinary individuals. And as much as I want to go home, I think of my own family. I think of someone being afflicted by this. I think of Onyx. I think of her mother who's missing. And I think that every second that we spend just looking around could be one step closer to maybe her potentially losing her. And that loss, that familial loss, is something that I would never want any of my companions to go through. It's something that I feared through my whole life. And I look at them and I might miss my family, but here right now, we're dependent on each other the same way we were back at the Gladiator arena. And that gives me this assurance and that gives me this confidence in a way that even though I might not be able to see things, even though I might not be as strong as I once used to be, I know that I can protect and I will make sure that they never need to feel the horrors that they have nightmares of.
Eva, you sit in kind of this, your feet touching this little pool of water that you notice is running quickly past you. And you try not to think about what else is in that water in this dingy, dark place. But think back to another time when you dipped your little toes into some running water. What was that memory for you?
Probably, and this would probably relay back to one of Eva's fondest memories of her childhood. Her childhood not that far behind her being still quite young and new in this world. But in there in her mind with all the the information and the secrets and everything that she's had to keep all these years. She'll come to a time when she was probably about 4 or 5. Um, and she has a quite large family. She's got some siblings, though so far she hasn't really spoke of them or really speaks of them at all. It's kind of one of those secrets that the family keeps, exactly how many are there. But she remembers her parents, her mom and her dad, and probably only 2 of her siblings coming along for this. But they had heard of a bathhouse that had opened in town, and all the gossip was that this is where you wanted to go to get all the good information and all the good secrets. So in the skies of a happy family, they kind of all went together, and this would have been one of Eva's first times in this situation. But they enter the bathhouse, the steam's billowing, the warmth in her feathers getting kind of actually annoying, because the feathers were getting heavy and damp, but something about the warmth was comforting to her, and something about her family there with her, one of these rare instances where they pretend they're happy together, and they're a mom and a dad and kids. It's all kind of pretend, but as a 5-year-old, it's the best kind of pretend. And as they enter the steam houses, sure enough, there's people everywhere. There's gossip, there's words on the air, and her parents usher her along, and she clicky-clackies into the water. And as she's sitting and relaxing and she's forgetting the world around her, all of a sudden, Dad leans over and he's like, "No, you can't relax. You have to listen." This epiphany comes. "Oh, I thought we were here for fun." No, this is training. You're training right now. You need to listen, and you need to be aware, and you need to pretend you're not listening to everyone around you, but you can never not listen. So it was a good learning experience for her, the distraction of the water, but remembering, oh, I have to pretend I'm distracted. I can never not be listening.
And in that lesson of that, it is a huge benefit for people to underestimate you. That is something that people with small egos detest, and it is something that people who are confident in themselves use to their advantage at every opportunity. What is the benefit here with this group and with these people to being the person who is always listening? And is that something you feel like you need to hide from them?
Eva right now with this group, it's an oddity to her. It's a welcomed oddity that she's so used to being alone in her adventures, alone in everything she does every day, where all of a sudden now there's these groups of people who, pay attention to her and what she's doing, but don't seem to, so far anyway, criticize her. And it's rewarding. It's really, really nice. It's putting a smile on her face. Every room that they explore, every moment they spend together, she's getting the actual, she's like, is this what friends is this what a family feels like? And she's finding herself loosening her grip a little bit on her desire to keep secrets, where she's like, oh, I've been trained my whole life to keep and not talk, but all of a sudden she's like, okay, but I want to share with these people. I want to tell them things, but then her training goes back in her mind and she's like, oh, but I can't, but I want, but can I? So her internal monologue right now is a bit of a struggle. She's not really showing it. She's trying to be happy and go lucky, but her internal struggle right now is, okay, do I share? Do I secret? Can I trust? But in that struggle, she's actually feeling really warm and tingly on the inside, and she's really, really happy to have met people who don't want her to talk and only want bits of information out of her and that's all she's useful for. These people seem to see her as being, a friend and useful in every regard.
Thank you so much for sharing that. As you check your, I was going to say Albert Rodeo Foundry, just to make sure that that's working, the camera zooms out on this collected group of heroes, and you see these people standing at various stages, all of their minds just kind of wandering, their eyes just near field for a moment while they take just a quiet moment. Silence is a sacred thing, and these people find that peace to reconnect with who they are. And I will turn this back over to our DM.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I just want to check. Everyone is okay in Foundry? Everyone can move their character around? We all good?
So far.
Okay, so to be upfront, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on my MacBook battery. I don't know what's going on. I've got a little bit of charge left, but for some reason, it is telling me that it's not charging, even though the wire and everything else around me, the hardware suggests it is, but the software seems to think it's not. So, I will keep an eye on it, and if it starts to get a little bit low, we might have to call the session a little early, okay? But for now, we're good. So, I have brought us all up to this area, and I can see you've all kind of moved. So I believe that Eva wanted to go a little bit on ahead, and it was just into kind of the right where you can see these, more of these spider eggs, huge spider eggs. So do feel free to take over and explore and tell me where you want to go and what you want to do. And if you encounter any problems, please let me know in chat or just chat to me.
Just want to make a note that those are specs.
Yeah.
What's happening? Is there something there?
Yeah. Okay, I need to understand as you move your characters forward. I need to understand, those of you creeping forward a little bit, can you make stealth checks for me if you were trying to be stealthy?
Yipper, let's go do that. Let's do some stuff.
Well, I got a 7, and I also have like this bright morning star in front of me.
I got 15.
15,
I need to change these dice. These dice are awful.
You just watch it like Estrella kind of like creeps forward, then stops, and just like the tiniest of squeaks.
Yeah, I think Onyx hasn't gotten that far in. She stopped at the first spag and was like, "Are you my mom?" Shout out to Gorgug.
Just loudly, are you my mom? All right, so Estrella and Eva, as you kind of head forward a little bit, you venture towards these, and you're kind of a little bit used to, if you could all just write in the chat your stealth rolls if you're rolling stealth, so that I can just see a group roll as a whole. You're kind of used to having traversed these tunnels. Apart from that little incident with your familiar, you've come across like nothing as of now. So it is a real shock to you to just see right out in the open as you kind of round the corner in perfect color, because you've got magical eyes. 2 huge, gross, disgusting spiders. And let me just check on these rolls. Oh. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
In this moment, Estrella, you know that if you advance forward anymore, they're gonna notice you. They're not moving at the moment. They seem very caught up on their web. I know that it looks like they're on the ground, but I'm kind of imagining that they're on the ceiling. Oh God, I feel so sucky. They're kind of on the ceiling, and they're just unmoving. You venture forward a little bit. You and Eva are quiet as anything, and you can't really hear anything coming from. Who was the other one that rolled quite well? From Callista. And then Calliope rounds the corner with her glowing beacon of light. Now you know a little bit about spiders. You know that they don't necessarily rely on like vision, but they can see. But they don't rely on it to know that you're there. It's about also vibrations. It's about like if you're interacting with the webs. And it is at that moment that Onyx reaches forward to one of the large spegs and essentially does that thing that I imagine you do with like a dirty window where you're trying to like, because it's so opaque, you're trying to like...
Strands like actively got her arm out being like, stop, be quiet.
And she's trying to peer in, and as she's doing that, like she does shift one of the webs slightly out the way. And you all watch as this little vibration flickers all the way along, strand after strand after strand, and it hits the leg of one of these spiders. There's a pause.
Estrella will ready a thingy. What's the word? Fuckity firebolt.
Got it.
Onyx.
I will allow those of you that rolled well with your stealth check, because I consider it to be partial success, partial fail. Those of you that rolled well with your stealth and were actively aware of what is going on around you, you may ready something.
Question for you.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Do these spiders have any humanoid features whatsoever?
These ones, no. They look just like big fuck off spiders. You are readying a firebolt. Eva, you rolled well. Are you readying anything?
Eva is just going to move a little bit further away.
So you can move or you can ready.
Yeah, I know. So instead of readying, Eva's gonna move over here.
Got it.
And
the other person, Callista, you can't see what's going on, but you watch as Estrella and Eva tense up. So I will allow you to either move or ready as well.
She doesn't want to move, but she will ready a sacred flame.
Got it. Okay. The other two of you, I'm afraid, your stealth checks did you dirty.
I didn't even roll one.
Who is just tapping on this egg, just like, mama. And the vibration hits the spider's leg. There's a pause. You ready? Is it going to react? And the leg twitches. And then the spider moves and swings down slowly from where it is currently on the roof down to the floor. Its movement causes the other one to stir. I'd like everyone to roll initiative, please. And I will roll initiative too.
No.
of course, my good roll. 26.
Tippin, I would like you to not roll my dice for me. Thank you.
Okay, well, you'll be pleased to know that that spider also rolled like that.
And I rolled a 6.
So we're gonna go.
This is Pippin. He likes to roll my dice for me.
So, Estrella, what did you roll?
17.
17. Let's take that. Shown your roll, please.
6.
6. That makes sense, Joan. 6. Okay.
I was not trying to be stealthy, but I also wasn't clomping around like a big clown.
I mean, you said you weren't trying. I know you weren't clomping around a bit of a big crowd. I just trying to make it, a bit funnier. I'll take it. Callista, what did you roll again? Sorry.
10.
10. And Eva.
26.
26. You were the 26.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I roll good
26
once and it's for
flipping good.
initiative.
Well, that's probably a good thing. Kaliuka, last but
I
not
got
least.
a 16.
16. Okay. Cool. So the spider rolled pretty badly. Spider rolled a 7. So those of you so what were you readying for? Obviously, I will address them each individually. Astraea, you can see the spider is stirring. Are you shooting the firebolt?
I am readying for an indication of hostility or an incoming attack.
So this spider has made its way down from the ceiling and is starting to make its way towards where the web is.
Okay. So it's not heading directly toward us, but like toward
It
where
is
the vibration
heading
was.
towards you. Yeah, it's heading towards you.
Awesome. Well, okay. If I'm, I know this is a weird question. Is there such thing as locking eyes with a spider? Is that a thing?
Yes.
You don't have
They have
enough.
8 eyes.
Yeah,
You gotta
I was
just
like-
pick which eyes you want to lock eyes with.
You know what? Any of them, like any and all of the above. Like when we lock eyes, when it is clear that it has seen us.
Roll
like,
a d8.
Sizzle, motherfucker. Roll a d8. 2.
You lock on with eye number 2. Okay. And you're throwing a firebolt?
I would like to throw a fireball at eye number 2. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Go for it.
All right. Let's see how this goes. We're gonna switch dice because Pippin rolled that one like 15 times. Does a 21 hit? If it doesn't, I'm writing.
A 21 does hit, yes.
I love it when 21s hit. I'm so sorry, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Karanos Piety to just go ahead and deal the extra lightning damage real quick. Wow, that wasn't worth it. 13, that is 13 fire damage and 3 lightning.
13 fire damage and 3 lightning.
Yes.
Shave.
As
Cool.
Astraea just lights up the place with a firebolt, just streaks out toward the spider in front, and sizzle, motherfucker.
Lovely. We love to see it. Okay, readying as well was Eva. So Eva, the spider is crawling towards you and Astraea. An immediate fireball out from Astraea. You just moved, didn't you? So
I
you didn't
moved.
ready anything.
No.
Apologies, I didn't mean to come to you, but you've moved and you're getting ready in position. You're grabbing your bow and you're now getting ready for combat. Callista, things are a little bit more complicated for you. You have ready to stake the flame, but the spider has not yet come into your viewpoint. So as you haven't moved, you can't see it. So I don't think that your ready would be able to be used at this point because it did not come out. I can.
That makes sense. She can't
I
really
think
see
you
anything.
You can turn it down.
I think you can adjust the volume of the music,
Yeah.
by the way, on your end. Yeah, there's a little like music note tab. And if you click that, it will allow you to adjust the volume. It's the one that's entitled Wasteland War. If it's giving you titles, I'm not sure if it is.
It is. It's good too.
I have turned it down my end, but I don't know if that actually even affects you. Okay, so the Sacred Flame fizzles out, but you do immediately see that Estrella is attacking something, and Eva is also ready with her eyes very much trained on something. Cool. We will now go to initiative. So now we are looking at Eva's go.
Yep. So Eva is going to start off by marking it with Hunter's Mark. So let me just go into this. Let me use my Hunter's Mark. Cast it on there.
Okay.
And then, sorry, I'm so used to using a different program. I'm trying to remember all the things that I do. So with Hunter's Mark on, I am going to ready my bow and I'm going to shoot.
Okay. Roll for me to shoot.
Oh, nat 20!
That's cool. Yeah, roll all your damage.
Yep, so I roll...
You can just give it to me in one big lump sum. You're hitting the one that's already been hit, is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So 15 crit.
15 all together. Yeah, that one is dead.
Okay.
It does that horrible thing that spiders do when they die, where they like flip on their back and their legs like
Ew.
ugh. But
It's
like
like,
because
yeah.
it's bigger, it does
Yep.
it with like a bit of a thunk. Like there's a little bit of a vibration through the floor because it's quite big. God, hate that.
Yep, so my Hunter's Mark is then going to flip over to the other one.
Okay, let me just see if I can mark it as dead. Yeah. Cool. I've marked that one as dead. I don't know if you can see the little skull symbol.
I'm
Yes.
not looking that high. So now I'm going to target
Cool.
the other one. Hunter's Mark is moving.
I don't think you can move. I don't think you can move your Hunter's Mark, can you?
She can next turn.
Oh, it's
Next
the next.
turn.
I thought it just automatically.
You can only do it like once per. So you can
It's-
move it next turn because
Yeah, it's a bonus action.
Okay. I thought when
Um,
one died, it just. You're right. I can mark another one. Okay, so no, it doesn't move, but I get my second action, which I am going to shoot
You do?
again.
Go for it.
Yeah. So that one's only a 10 to hit.
10 to hit. No, does not hit.
All right, and then I'm going to use
It
my
kind
dread.
of whizzes past.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use my dread ambusher, which allows me to attack again.
Hey, oh, you know what? I used to play a Tabaxi Ranger Rogue that was a Gloomstalker, and I forgot how much I loved this. Yep, go for it. Attack again.
Yep, so my dread ambusher is going off. That one is going to hit with a 26.
26. You know what? A 26 does hit. Yeah.
Okay, I hope so, because it was an 18 base, so I hope that hits. And then, how do I add on the extra 1d8 when I'm doing my dread ambusher?
You can just probably roll it separately, or click the little beyond
I'll just do it separately.
Yeah.
So I'll roll that damage, and then I'll roll a d6. Nope, just one. No, stop adding dice. Roll. So that was an 11. That's gonna be a 13.
13.
Yep.
All right. 13 points of damage. That's quite a hefty hit. Yeah, didn't like that. It kind of lets out this giant, horrible shriek as the arrow embeds into its body. Thorax. I don't know. Hate it. And I think we then moved on to Estrella. Looks like Eva and Estrella are going to get all the fun with this one.
Oh, that'll be fun. Same thing as before. We're just going to go ahead and throw a firebolt. And we'll see how that goes.
Okay, go for it. Roll 2 hits.
I bet I just hit its AC. That's 25.
Yeah, 25 does
Just
hit.
hits?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Just
And it takes 14 more points.
14 more points. So, this one also dies. Do you want to describe how you kill it?
So basically what happens is as Eva sends this arrow like hurtling into this thing, Estrella plus dead. Estrella just kind of like reels back the way that she is in her little hero forge mini, and just sends a firebolt just careening into exactly the same spot point where Spoint, Darkle, whatever. The exact same spot where Eva's arrow had been. And like what happens is there's like a flash of flame. It basically kind of like almost cauterizes and injures at the same time. And what's left is a small little arrow with its fletching, just a flame sticking out from the spider.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Okay. Well, yeah, it dies. Anything else you wanted to do on your go?
I would like to listen for signs of other spiders crawling our way.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. You don't
are you now?
hard. As you kind of fizzle out this fireball, it explodes, and this spider kind of also catches a light all across its body and curls up and dies. Take a moment
Also,
to expand your awareness around you.
She real quick kind of like whirls around to look over her left shoulder as if to say something, and then just kind of like shakes her head and turns back.
You wheel around to look over your left shoulder to say something, and you are met with a deafening spider shriek.
I said say something, not see something.
And right behind you, whoosh, into existence, a creature appears. Just need to.
Does this one have any humanoid features?
This does not, but this one definitely has something odd about it. Obviously, it can shimmer in and out of existence, or that's something that you already know about.
How tall is this thing?
It is slightly.
Like, am I looking up at it? Is the real question.
You are looking. Yeah, it's big. Yeah, you're looking
Okay.
like up
I look up at this massive fucking Shelob monster. Arachne?
It just screeches at you, and it
Was that a
is
yes?
go.
She just like, is that a yes or kind of like a more neutral, I want to eat you kind of, okay, got it.
It's go. And it is going to take a bite at you. I'd like to do that. Oh wait,
Straya can just hear Cassian yelling at her for like leaving her back exposed.
Mm.
Thanks, captions. Yes, it's definitely Kathleen, not Cassian.
Oh, well, it's 7 to hit, so I'm not sure that hits.
You know,
Wait, what is it adding there?
just misses.
I don't think that's right.
My AC is actually a 7.5, so.
Okay, it goes for you, and it misses. I will figure out that. Okay, fine. So new threat, and now we are looking at. I'm running out of battery on here apparently. Kaliuka's go.
So Kalika will, quickly kind of just push Caillou into her back on the side, and just gonna take out her shield and rush towards this spider. You can see as the face on the shield starts to take this sort of snickering smile, almost taunting this spider as she casts Compelled Duel. That would be a Wisdom Saver 13.
I love that. Let me get the character sheet up. Can I do? You said a Wisdom save, correct?
Yes, of 13.
Okay, I'm gonna roll it manually. Because it's not working properly. I have to meet or beat 13. Oh, nope, failed.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, failed.
Awesome. So Kalika is going to try to the passage that it just kind of dropped into away from the party. She's going to run in front of it there to kind of basically avert its gaze from the rest of the party onto her and cast Compel Duel with this shield just kind of taunting at this spider, and she yells at it, "Come at me, you insect!" and takes one. Wait, can I compel you? 1 sec. I just need to see if when I hit it fails.
As you're doing that, Estrella's like, Arachnid.
I was thinking that too.
Insect, arachnid.
It's like if you're gonna shit talk it, do it right.
And she's gonna take one strike at it with the Morning Star. That's a 13. Does it hit?
13 does not. Actually, this is a different one. 13 does hit. This one
Wow.
has slightly less armor than the other one, it would seem. Just about. You just about catch it. What is the damage?
That is awesome. The total damage is 10 piercing.
10 piercing. Okay. 5. All right. So, and it fully turns its attention to you. It is no longer interested in Squishy Wizard behind it. It only wants to fight you. And we are now going with Callista. Who can you see? Yeah, you can see this creature just materialize behind Estrella. It attempted to bite her, and somehow, even though she's definitely looking pretty squishy, missed.
I mean, Estrella
They got
kind
a
of
bit
like
confident.
turned, so like she went to turn and it just like bit where her shoulder was.
Well, and Callista, who had been kind of hiding behind Kilyuka until she moved, kind of looks a little affronted to be kind of out in the open. But she draws out her shark tooth dagger and pricks her finger, and she's going to cast Bane on the spider, which is a
I love that.
charisma saving throw of 17.
Of 17. 17?
Yes.
Us full casters, man.
We're 17?
Charisma
17.
throws.
Mine's 18.
Okay.
Like we're good.
Yeah, that is failed.
So it is baned, and she is just gonna kind of
Yeah.
up along the wall.
This poor, not poor creature.
Uh-oh.
Say
I can
again.
hear you.
Just go again.
It is Bane, right?
Yes, it is
And
baned,
she's
and
gonna
she's
move.
just
Is that what you said?
Callista's just gonna move kind of closer to the wall just to try to get a little bit of cover from this thing. Now that she can't hide behind Kilyuka anymore.
What does Bane
That's
do?
absolutely fine. So now it takes a minus D4 to all of its rolls, right?
Mhm.
Or like
Pretty much
so,
everything, yeah.
Okay, got it. Great. I love it. Cool. Then we are on to we're skipping the giant spider. We are on to Onyx. Onyx, it is your go.
Doesn't the spiders go before me?
The spider already went.
It was no, it already went and it failed.
Oh, okay. In that case, Kilyuka is standing in front of it. I can pass through Estrella's square, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna go right there. Nope, not there. There. No, there. Go there. Move one square over. Just okay. It's being a butt. There it goes.
It worked.
Okay.
It worked.
All right. And then I am going to. Do I get a sneak attack now that I'm flanking it?
Yes.
I think it just needs adjacency.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're there in direct melee, so you're part rogue.
Yep.
Okay, do it. Kill
Okay,
it.
hold on.
I mean,
I'm gonna try. If my computer will cooperate.
Assuming the dice also collaborate.
Okay. I'm going to use my great sword.
A rogue with a greatsword. I love it.
Yep. My dice are rolling so slow. Okay, that was 11 plus 2 more. Oh my glob. It's so slow. Plus 10, 21.
21 hits. Roll damage.
Oh shit, I was rolling damage before I rolled the attack. My bad.
Just roll. Okay, I'll keep the
Yeah.
21 damage. Just roll the attack to see if
Yeah,
it takes
I-
21 damage.
Yeah.
Sweet. I was afraid it was
Is
about
it
to
above
land
a
on the
14?
1. It is at 25.
Lovely.
A measly
It
25.
takes 21 damage. And
Plunges a great sword into its abdomen.
yeah, how do you want to kill it? How do you want to kill this thing?
I think Onyx is channeling all the frustration from earlier, plus everything that's shitty that's happened today, and just like not even a roar, just like she's just so frustrated that she's holding everything tightly together. She just takes the greatsword, pulls back, and just goes straight into the center of the abdomen, and then pulls up, slicing it in two.
Okay, so exactly that happens, and it kind of as you stab it within the abdomen, it screeches loudly, and its legs kind of like jolt outwards straight, and then it sort of rolls over and curls up, and you are left with a dead spider. Now, I mentioned earlier that my computer thinks it is not charging, and thinks that I have 4% battery. My plugs and everything think I am charging. I don't know if I'm about to just lose my computer completely, and if I am, then I cannot run Foundry. The battery went down a lot quicker than I thought it was. So I'm thinking it might be best to call it here.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to just all shut down is the thing. So as this creature curls up and dies, you hear four of you here in your heads. We don't even need to say which one is completely oblivious to this.
It's the bunny.
Definitely the bunny.
You hear in your heads, well, 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 in you come. You're here for someone, aren't you? I think you'll have to go through me first. Why don't we have a conversation? And you will all feel a sort of gentle pull. And the webs around you will begin to shake ever so slightly. They vibrate in a particular direction, as do spiders crawling out of crevices begin to head further into the cave to the east. And that is where we shall end our session, if Sarah is here. I'm still saying 4%. But what I will do while we wait for Sarah is I will go around to each of you and get you to chat about yourself a little bit. So let's start, shall we? We'll go backwards this time. Let's start with Lulu.
Okay, hi, I'm Lulu. I have been playing Callista, the cleric, who's really feeling out of her depth. Those spiders are really freaking her out, especially that last message. She definitely sees how annoying having people speak in your head could be, and at least for a second thinks that maybe she'll try to use it a little bit less, but probably not. You can find me on Twitter at LuluNWA, where when I'm on Twitter, which I haven't been much lately, but I try to post my artwork where I paint minis and use my Dwarven Forge to recreate scenes from actual plays. And hopefully this week, now that I am finally on the mend, I will be able to start painting the minis for this actual play. And so hopefully I'll be able to come up with some scenes here soon.
Amazing. We would absolutely love to see that. That's exceptionally exciting.
Yeah.
I will go for Lindsay next.
Hello everyone, I'm Lindsay playing your lovely Kenku Gloomstalker Ranger Eva. In my free time, I raise baby birds, show dogs, and run an anime and cosplay store here in Belleville, Ontario. You can find me at Chunky Chickadee with the last E being a 1 on Twitter. I haven't been really active yet because I just opened a store last week, but I'm planning to get that up and going with, some cosplay stuff, cute animal photos, and just general feel good kind of Twitter page.
Awesome. We are always really excited to hear about your cosplay and anime store. I just love hearing all the stories about your customers.
It's been amazing. It's called Doki Doki. You can find us on Facebook and all that at Doki Doki Belleville. But yeah, it's really, really cute, and the community here has been amazing, and I'm really happy to get back into cosplay after doing it for 20 years. And yeah.
All right, let's head to Kumi next.
Hello, I'm Kumi, and my Twitter and Instagram handle are Kumi Curiosities. That's also the name of my D&D shop. That's been going really well, and I'm excited for 2 campaigns right now, apart from this one. One is the Spelljammer campaign that I have over at my other channel called Pigeon Killers, and I have another campaign starting, I think, in the beginning of next October here on Girls Run These Worlds, which is going to be a horror mini campaign. So I'm really looking forward to that.
It honestly looks terrifying.
Casting is open right now for if you want to be DM'd by Kumi. It is a Euro-friendly time zone. And it is horror, which I love horror. So yeah, if you want to be terrified, which I'm certain, having seen some of your the face filters that you use, I'm certain that you can do that absolutely fine. Oh, look at the verb. Joan, huh? Speaking of Joan, we will go to Joan next.
I'm Joan. I have severe ADHD, so I need to fidget when I'm playing. So I was painting a postcard.
That's gorgeous. Oh my god.
Thank you. And I play here on this. I recently was cast in a actual play of The Yellow House, which starts, that's the name of it. It's a Call of Cthulhu game.
So exciting.
It starts the same weekend that we originally scheduled for our finale. So it will be that Friday the 23rd, I believe, is when that one will start. You can also catch me on the 3 Black Halflings, which on Twitter they are the number 3 and then the word black and halfling smushed together. I've done a few episodes on there, including a breakdown of the trailer for Black Panther 2 and the D&D movie. And we talked about all the controversy with the Hood Ozy. So if you're interested in any of that, definitely go check them out. I love all of you.
And we love you too. Next up, last not least, is Jen.
Hello, my loves. I am Jen. I have been your friendly local wizard, Estrella. Accompanying me for the first time, as of Wednesday, is my little dice gremlin. His name is Pippin. Not the musical, but yes, Lord of the Rings character, and yes, Banzu Pippin Petalopsicopoulos the third.
Pippin has to go on 3 Black Halflings.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll have his people call your people.
Gotcha. I am the people.
It's fine. I'm also the people. But I can be found on Twitter at Jenburb. More importantly, Pippin can be found on Twitter at Jenburb, probably at some point. Let's be real, the cat's more important. But yeah, that's me. I don't have a whole lot going on. I'm working on getting more into the TTRPG streaming space, but that means I need to get in some games first, so we'll see.
I'll brew something up.
Okay. well, I guess that just leaves me. Hello, I'm Kat the Law Mistress, also known as Law Mistress 93 on Twitter. You can find me streaming here every Sunday, as you probably noticed. And you can also find me every other Thursday on Redemption VA's channel, streaming in a cyberpunk AP as Siren, and she's pretty badass. So please come and check her and me out.
Awards.
Everything else going on. I also write, I blog, so you can check out all my socials on my Linktree, which can be found on my Twitter profile. A couple of other things that I wanted to mention. Obviously, we just spoke about Kumi's amazing show that is currently casting, and we're all really excited to see how that goes. There is another show currently casting for Girls Run These Worlds, which is a one-shot of Brindlewood Bay with Everis the DM. So please go and check that out. It is also a Euro-friendly time zone, so it should be much more accessible to lots of different people. And yeah, we're really excited about it. Who doesn't want to solve murders with grannies and granddads and goodness knows what else? I personally, being a fan of Miss Marple, I'm in love with the concept of Miss Marple actually finding some kind of like eldritch horror or something that she has to face. Is just awesome. So yeah, check that out. We are only a few followers short of our 500 goal, and only a couple of subs short now. 4 followers, is that right? 4 followers and 2 subs short of our sub goal. And it is September, everyone, on here on Twitch, which means that subs are cheaper. And not only that, but Twitch is taking the hit, not the channel. So we would really, 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 truly appreciate it if you love what we do, if you loved watching today, or any of the other shows that you see on here. Please, please, please give us a follow when a sub, because it would be something we would really appreciate. I think we have all gone a little bit funky on the stream, camera wise. I'm not sure.
Oh,
okay, perfect. Cool. I think anyway, yeah, so thank you all so much for watching. Kind of like a YouTuber. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate having you here. We love you lots, and we will see you next Sunday.
Week.
Next week.
Guys, I do the spider thingy, but y'all can't see us.
Take care. Bye.
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 Oh, there we go.
Vote for us at the gamers.